Okay, I am going to go over a piece of music I call Many Mountains. It is not recorded, it's not in any songs yet. It's just a little exercise that I give out to my students to get them working with triads and whatnot. It's a pretty basic idea. First off, I'd like to say that I am tuned down a whole step. So the chords are not going to be as said, but I'm going to talk about them in position. So the first chord we're going to play is this E minor triad, okay? It is played with the B notes, the E, and the G. So the B is on the third string, the E is on the second string, and the G is on the first string. It's basically identical to your D minor open chord, just moved up 2 steps. So we got our E minor triad, and then we have our D major triad, which is in root position, so it's just going to go D, and then our F sharp and our A. And then a G major triad, which is the same thing as your D major chord, up, so D, E, F, G major. So here's our G major triad with the D, G, and B on the first string. And then what we're going to do is, I think of it as an F sharp diminished chord. We have our D sharp, our F sharp, and our B sharp. So it's a funky sounding chord. And then we have our C major triad, which is the same shape as the D major triad. It's a root position. We have our C, our E, and our G. And then a C minor triad, which you don't really even have to move. You just have to lift up your 4th finger on the 2nd string and put down your 2nd finger on the 2nd string. Just 1 fret lower than where your 4th finger was. So again, it's E minor, D major, G major, F sharp diminished, and then C major, and then C minor. Very sad. And I used to just use like a progression like that, or a triad progression, to play like stuff like reggae. You know, which is grand and fine, but you know, I did that for a long time, and then, you know, you want to start using what you know in a different way, you know, kind of broadening your horizons. So I was watching TV or looking on the internet or something, and I ran across this Johnny Five, or John Five, from, or he was in Marilyn Manson. I don't know if he is anymore. But I was watching that, and I saw him do this awesome metal chicken picking wondrous thing, and I basically ripped off the idea, because he just ripped off the idea from somebody else, because that's all we ever do, is just take other people's ideas and put them in our own creative form. And he was doing this cool thing where he was pulling off to the open E string. So I thought in my head I could do that. So I got some chords together, and the chords I just showed you, and I put that technique to it where what I was doing, and all I do that makes this different, is when I pick through the chord, when I get to the first string, I will add a pull off to the open E. In my right hand, basically what I'm doing is just a very simple mountain picking line where I'm just picking with the thumb, first finger, and my middle finger from the third string, second, and then the first. But I take my E minor triad right here, and what I'll do, again, picking through the chord in my right hand, when I get to that first string, I will pull off. So the E minor triad, pulling off to that first string, move up to our D major triad. That's going to create a lovely 9 sound. And then our G major triad. Then our F sharp diminished triad. Down to our C major. And then in our C minor, this is the only change. What I do is I just leave that triad down, and instead of pulling off from to the open E, I will use my pinky finger, so this is involving all 4 fingers, pulling off to my first finger, which is on the G. So it's an A to G pull off. Again, just wanting to put a little bit of variation in there. So when we put that all together, we're going to have our E minor triad, up to D, up to G, F sharp, C major, C minor, and then repeat. You know, how fast you go with this, or you know, how many times you want to play each one of these chords, if you even want to play these chords at all, it's more the technique and the idea that I'm trying to show you, is up to you. So if you want to play the E minor for exactly half a measure, play it for half a measure. If you want to play it for 7 measures, play it for 7. I really never play this the same way twice. I'll do it variation after variation. I will move around that pull-off note. Basically, any way you want to go about it works. Variation is always welcome. You know, be expressive, be creative with it, and have fun.